let's run through several sort of predictions here that kind of for the Celtics emulate league awards, but Celtics Defensive Player of the Year. I kind of poo-pooed this one before we got on the show and said, isn't everybody picking Marcus Smart? Well, I'm picking Marcus Smart. So, John, you said, no, not, not everybody's going to pick Marcus Smart. There's this guy and that guy, but on a show where Marcus Smart's been shown an enormous amount of love and shown you and your family an enormous amount of love, are you really going to go in any other direction?
Well, look, I mean, the anchor of the Celtics defense is no doubt Al Horford. I mean, none of this works, that what Al Horford can do. And what he did against Giannis, what he did against Ben Simmons, what he did against Embiid. I mean, you could argue was it not for a guy named LeBron James, he was the best player consistently in the Eastern Conference playoffs. So we'll say
Speaking of managing minutes and there's a guy that was exactly why he was ready for the postseason.
Absolutely. So there's a whole reason why you could say Al Horford is that guy, and I wouldn't fight you to the death. But if I'm going to fight someone to the death, I want a guy that's going to try to take J.R. Smith's head off. I want Marcus Smart. Right. So look, there's no controversy amongst us on this, but I think there's value in others. So yes, Marcus Smart. Are you kidding me? Am I going to pick somebody else? That'd be insane.
You can't pick anybody else. There you go. That was the rigged vote on Celtics Stuff Live. All right, so Celtics Most Improved Player. This one's kind of tough because we had a lot of players that got a chance to improve last season, and now they may have a reduction in minutes or a decreased role or a different role. So Most Improved Player, this one's going to be interesting. There's a couple of players with year 3. There's a player with year 3 last year that maybe there's a delayed year 3. I'm not sure you can pick Marcus Smart 2 in a row though, John.
I could try. I'm not going to, though. As much as I'd love to. I'm going to spread around the love here on the Celtics roster. I'm going to go with Jason Tatum. And that's not saying he was bad last year.
That's a tough bet, man. That's a tough bet.
I think he's going to be an all-star this year. I think he is going to be. I think if we talk about what, in terms of who's going to push the envelope with this team, him going to that next level, and we didn't see it in preseason, so I'm a little bit kind of taking what I see with my eyes and only trying to ignore that, and instead going by what I'm hearing, what I'm reading, and people saying that Jason Tatum is going everywhere this summer and killing people. Just murdering people left and right on the basketball court. And am I colored by the Slam article where he just talked about what a ferocious competitor the guy is? Even though he's a real cool dude and he doesn't say a whole lot, dude's a monster. I'm picking Tatum, and I think he's an all-star. What do you got?
I like Tatum. Most Improved Player, though, I'm going to pick a real underdog here for you. I'm actually going to go with Daniel Tice, despite the fact that I said he would have very limited minutes this year. And we've been talking a lot about Baines in the starting lineup, etc. But I actually think Tice is the one that takes a lot of minutes. It's not just that they do that small lineup. I think Tice is kind of poised in the type of offense that the Celtics want to run. Not that Baines won't have his role, and not that Baines won't come in and provide that, but Tice is kind of a rim runner, and I think with all that movement that they like to have on the offensive end, and I think they are going to try to just have some fun and shoot it out. I agree with you. Defense is definitely a concern for this team, and that's because I'm hoping offense is not a concern for this team. And you've always seen teams during the regular season, they have glimpses of defense. Last year, they had an amazing defense through the first third of the year, but teams tend to kind of not play that same level of defense. And then all of a sudden, it's like, whoa, where did that come from in the postseason? I think this team is going to be a lot like that, and that's where I kind of come back to Tice. I think Tice is loves to get up and down the floor, and I think that's how these guys all stay happy. I think that's how you address some of the chemistry concerns, and I think that when you're running that hard, people's legs are going to get winded, and maybe you do reduce minutes. And somebody like Tyson is going to get a lot of time, and he was playing really, really well last year, right about the time he got injured. And I feel like he could be a sneak attack, and it's also a pretty safe play because he didn't have a breakout year, but you saw he could do a lot more than he did. And he kind of, just never had quite the full opportunity to show it. And I feel like there's a lot of room for him, even in limited minutes, to be able to garner this award. So I'm going with Tice. The last one before we kind of wrap the show on the top 8 teams in the league and then whittling it down to the finals is the Celtics' 6th man of the year. I'm going to steal this one from you. I'm not even going to let you go first. I'm going to go with Terry Rozier, dude. I think he's playing for a contract. He's a maniac. There's so many reasons to pick T Rose on this one. And a spark plug off the bench. And if you do want to let Kyrie get rested, have him come in and do his thing, who's the man you're handing the ball to run the show? It's Rozier. He's just got 6-man. Vinny the Microwave Rozier written all over him.
I love that. That's great. I like that pick, and it probably would have been my pick.
Had I not stolen it from you?
No, because so I'm conflicted here because on the one hand, I have talked a lot about how I think Hayward should be coming off the bench, right? And if he does, he's clearly going to be the 6th man of the year, not just for the team, but for the league. But I can't do that. I can't do that. I'm actually going to say
Terry Rozier.
I'm going to say Terry Rozier. You got to. I mean, look, it's all laid out for him.
I knew it.
His role is so clear. There's a lot of question. I mean, health and whatnot. And I think if there was maybe if it was a year later and this was going on with Hayward, it might be much easier to slot Hayward into that 6-man role. I really think he could be dynamite in that situation. And I don't think it diminishes him in any way. But I don't believe by the end of the year that they're going to go there. They're going to want those 3 wings on the starting lineup or playing a lot together. And I just don't think that he's going to have those minutes. Whereas Terry, he could very well be the 6th man of the whole league. So I think that's the right pick.